I haven't seen the mayor's proposal, so I cannot tell you. I don't know that he has made these recommendations. I know that he has not taken the action to call together these various resources that I have suggested in an ad hoc committee. I tried this 5 years ago to get a team approach to solving our problems, and the council was not willing to go along with it. I think that now we see the problem is getting out of hand, and I think we simply must come to this point of bringing all of these groups together. We can't deal with it as probation going one way, police department another. They've all got to work together if they're going to solve this problem. There's got to be that communication. In the principal's office or in the main office of the building, someone is on duty to observe that board to determine where the help is needed and will quickly dispatch the help to that location. And ideally, if there is a communication system in the school, a two-way system, they can determine if they need help of police or anything else.
I mean, when the alarm goes off, it said help. Are you talking about the, by help, what do you mean? Armed security officer?
No, I mean a quick response of some adult, teacher or security officer that's on the campus, or whatever personnel would be responding in those circumstances. Does not mean, as a matter of fact, the main value of it is that in most cases where it's been used, they found that it avoided the necessity of calling in the police from outside because they were able to control it. If it gets out of hand, then of course the only response has to be the police, and they're trying to avoid that. That is the primary purpose of this system.
Mr. Bradley, there are a lot of people who are saying that what is happening in our schools and the street should be dealt with from a sociological plateau. What about your 6-point program? In addition, this is preventive. Is there anything that will enhance in your program that would enhance?
Yes, a part of the program of the ad hoc committee, the fact that it involves the resources, all of the forces in our community that deal with this very question. One of the major factors in that is, of course, the training and effective employment program to take these youngsters from a life of idleness into a life of constructive or productive activity. And I think we cannot separate these two.
Mr. Bradley, about the only difference I can see between your 6 points that you outline and some points that Mayor Yorty outlined is that he emphasizes the revolving door aspect of the juvenile courts.
The parole authorities, the adult authority, the probation, and the juvenile court judges not having had the kind of direct link and communications with the law enforcement agencies that are putting the young people in custody. And I must say that our chief of police has already begun to initiate that kind of dialogue. All need to understand what happens when you release a hardcore offender to go back into the streets only to commit the same kinds of crimes again. And that is what they're attempting to deal with. And I believe that through the system of the ad hoc committee, we'll be able to more effectively deal with that whole question.
People are being killed, on a weekly basis in Los Angeles before such actions as you propose happen.
Councilman, how does this unit work?
Well, this emergency communications system developed by the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena has this device as an activator. It sends a signal from wherever the teacher or the school personnel may be located to the principal's office. And there is a panel in that office similar to this, but with many more room numbers on it. And all the teacher need do, if there is some incident impending, is to press this button, and it will set off a signal.
Then what would happen at that point?
As the board is lighted up, the principal or whoever is on duty at that point would quickly send someone to the location where that signal is coming from. Might be room 101 or room 110, or it might be out on the grounds. And that person or persons responding to that emergency call could then take appropriate action. Very often they found that it's simply a matter of the presence of the teachers there that can prevent the thing from getting out of hand, prevent the need to call the police in to deal with the problem. That's a primary function of this kind of system.
How does this tie in with your 6-point program to prevent violence on the schools? What are some of the elements?
It's one of the 6 points, and I think that since it has been developed, it cost $15,000 to install the system. I think that we could very well consider installing that in a number of schools in this city. It has been installed in some schools in California and in New York and Georgia. I believe that in addition to that, the ad hoc committee which I have proposed ought to be activated quickly, bringing together the police department, the probation department, the courts, the human relations agencies, all of those groups, along with the school administration, the teachers, and the students, can effectively put together a program instead of each going their separate way. I believe that that's possible being funded through the California Council on Criminal Justice, through the Safe Streets Act. Thirdly, my proposal for Community Citizens Patrol is an idea that I think can work in the schools as well as in the community to serve as the eyes and ears of the police department to help them control the crime problem in their neighborhoods. I'm anxious to have the police department move forward on it. The Police Commission is now considering that proposal. I want to have our congressional delegation assist either in introducing or in supporting a bill called the Safe Schools Act, such as one introduced by Congressman Bingham, that would use this system, would use other personnel, community people, to help in controlling the problems in our schools. I believe that it's necessary for us to find the funding outside of our own budgetary needs, and I think that we can find those means. Emergency, and if necessary, they can take action or perhaps call the police. In most cases, they have found that just by the presence of the teachers coming to that location, they've been able to avoid an escalation of a problem. And that's the primary benefit of this kind of program.
How easy would it be for a couple of smart electronic students to jam that whole system?
They have come up with it, and it's been very well accepted by the students. They know that the system is in